and Palestinians. And joining us now is Eric Mandel, the founder and director of the Middle East Political Information Network. So I'd like you to break down what Washington's true intentions are in sending Blinken over to the Middle East right now.
Well, I think there was some criticism initially that a low-level State Department official was sent over, White House official, in place of active mediation. But it seems that President Biden really got what he wanted: a quiet diplomacy. He got more points with the Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu. And so I think at this point, I think they want to take a little lap of victory that their strategy worked. Tony Blinken is going to be part of and as leading with Robert Malley the return to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And I think that will be there, although everybody is so focused right now on the aftermath of the fourth, or depending how you're counting, fifth Gaza War since the terrorists of Hamas took over the Gaza Strip. The JCPOA is going to come front and center. There's still discussions going on. The administration is anxious to return there. So that's going to come front and center. So the administration has no interest in being distracted from that. And so what we're dealing now with is a victory lap, and then followed by going right back to the JCPOA. And I think there's going to be some trying to ruffle any feathers of what's going on, but the confrontation between the Biden administration and the Israeli government is going to be back front and center, and it's not going to have anything to do with this past Gaza war, with there's a lot to talk about, but it's going to be about Iran again.
How much of a role did Joe Biden actually play in this ceasefire? Because we're seeing some American media headlines suggest that he solved his first international crisis.
Well, that's the victory lap, and that's what they want to say. But I think he should be given credit here, considering the pressure he has from half of his party, that is the progressive wing, that is reflexively anti-Israel. The fact that he was relatively quiet, gave Israel 9 days to complete whatever it could do. There were false reports that came out that Israel was planning to go into Gaza with soldiers on the ground, which was false, and that was another false claim that was there. But I think more than not, he deserves some credit here. Israel, remember, what is a victory for Israel here? Victory for Israel is just buying deterrence, and it's counted in years until the next time somebody needs to mow the lawn.
No.
And Hamas is the big winner here in many ways.
Now, Egypt brokered this latest ceasefire between Hamas and Israel and has generally been the middleman in indirect negotiations between the Israeli government and the terror organization. So break down Egypt's weight in this conflict and what Sisi's interest is in being involved in the first place.
Well, Sisi has been kind of on the outs with the Biden administration team. They're looked at like the Saudis as an authoritarian, human rights abusing group, and they were looking for the ability to rehabilitate themselves. And I think that has been the spin here, is that Egypt is now needed as at least the mediator, and is justifying the billions of dollars that America gives them in aid. In truth, Egypt is a linchpin as part of the Abraham Accords, even though the Abraham Accords are with the Saudis and the UAE and Bahrain and Sudan and Morocco. The Egyptians are part of the conservative, moderate, authoritarian states that Israel has developed a relationship with and should be fostered, but the Biden administration has kind of let to die here. So this has been a positive for Egypt to be able to do something positive for United States interests.
How do you think Palestinians view the new American administration, especially after its handling of this latest war?
I think it's going to depend. I think after the Trump administration, which was unabashedly pro-Israel and actually did not have nuance, told it like it was, and actually put together the most comprehensive peace plan. They were hoping for something better, something that would have more moral equivalence, to have a more balanced actor, especially with so many anti-Israel voices in the Democratic Party. So their hope was anything is going to be better than President Trump's administration. From an Israeli point of view, they were weary of that. Palestinians, I think they're going to do whatever they can to extract whatever monies they can to advance themselves. The Palestinian Authority was a big loser here in this war once Abbas stopped the election, knowing that he would lose to Hamas. And now they're trying to increase their prestige by saying, and America is saying, that the monies to rehabilitate Gaza that are going to go in have to go through the Palestinian Authority, and they won't be sullied with the hands of terror, which is almost impossible, because if you're bringing in so much concrete and steel to rehabilitate hundreds of homes that were killed, that were used as for human shields in civilian areas using military, they're going to have to bring that in, and you know that Hamas is going to divert it. So a lot of this is just rhetoric saying that they're going to be able to separate the humanitarian aid from Hamas. That's not going to happen. Hasn't happened in any of the wars since then.
All right. Eric Mandel joining us from the United States. Thank you so much for that breakdown.